and that just boom. I need that boom to be a little bit more dramatic. I feel like the timing was good. I liked it. I need a little bit more in there. Don't you agree? Let me know if you agree. I think you do. Welcome, everyone. It is another edition of Live Better, brought to you by our friends over at Wave.video. That's right. Everything you see today was created in Wave.video. Everything's being streamed with Wave.video, and I'm excited about all of it. Now, I don't have my little cheater screen here in front of me that I usually do. Why? Because, well, I was running like a chicken with his head cut off and didn't grab it. So if I occasionally do this, it's because I don't have my one in front of me. So, we do things as unprofessional as possible here. It's the goal. And I think we nail it quite often. So, you know what? I'm excited today. Our topic, we're going to be talking about why our shows fail sometimes, why a lot of them actually fail. And it made me think back to a show I used to do called Subpellucid. I hosted it with my friend Daniel Glickman. And subpellucid was a word that meant not quite transparent. And did it fail? No. Life happened. And we both moved in different directions. And it was just a project. We did it for fun. We didn't try to monetize it. We didn't try to grow it. And so it didn't grow. And it kind of fell away. Now, that's a little bit different than the show failing. We never went in with really any kind of plan to make it do anything. But I have had things come and go. We all have. So we're going to be talking about that. I know one of the main things we're going to hear a lot about is how to make sure that the show that you're producing really engages the people that are watching, that you make it about them. And I had a really cool experience this week. I was in Wichita, Kansas, and got to go to my favorite hat shop on the planet, Hatman Jack's. And in a matter of an hour, I had 3 different people come up, try to help me reshape hats, figure out the right hat. And I ended up actually having them sell me on something different. And some of you may have seen the picture, but I'm going to share with you. I've shook it up a little bit, guys. I shook it up a little bit, and I went bowler. I like it. Let us know in the comments. Us. There's not really us, me. Let me know in the comments what you think. I think it's supposed to have a little angle just like that. Maybe you know what? I'm going to keep it on today. I'm going to slide the fedora on. We're just going to throw people off. Why? Because we can. Now, before we bring in our guests, of course, we want to remind you to do all the things. Subscribe to our channel. You can like and follow us on Facebook. Click the bell. Sign up for emails at wave.video. However you want to get notified, we can notify you. And if you're not sure, if you can click it, and there's a good chance that we will find you somehow. And right after we're done today, we're going to be doing our second day of Wave Camp over here at Wave.video. So enjoy today's show and then hang out. We're going to look at how we set up our live streams here with Wave, how we make our thumbnails and our overlays within the editor. So it's going to be a fun day. All right, that's enough blah, blah, blah about me. You didn't come here for that. You came here to see the man, the myth, the legend, Kirk Nugent. Let's bring him on in.
Hey.
What's going on, brother?
Oh, man, it's good to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to chat with the Wave audience, the Wave community. This is going to be fun.
Now we've got somebody here who's asking what camera are you using, and I'm using a Canon 80D. I know you're like way more high.
No. The Canon 80D is phenomenal. And then of course, if you don't know that it's all about the glass, right? So what lens are you using, Chad?
You know what? It's just the standard lens that comes with the camera. It's like, what is it, the 18 to 55 or something? It's got a huge range on it.
I see.
So,
I'm using the Sony A6400 with a Sigma 16mm lens f1.4. So that's it. That's the combination. That's what I'm using.
There you go. So, and for those who are wondering, it's also not just that Kirk's camera is a little better than mine. He's just better looking, and that's and that kind of is an unfair advantage.
Oh my goodness! I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to argue with you. But I have to tell you, I've got hat envy right now. So.
I'll tell you what, I wasn't sure. It was interesting because these guys, this is what they do. And this part was curled up. And this guy is one of the top 3 hat makers in the country. And all those people are trained. They come out, they're like, you know what? That bowler would look better if we gave it more of this curve like that. They took it to the back, reshaped it, and I put it on. I was like, I'm sold. It was crazy. The last hat I bought was in 2019. It was from there. It was when I was in Kansas. And the reason I didn't buy another hat wasn't because I didn't want another hat. It was I hadn't been back to Kansas, and I was like, I'm not going to buy a hat from anywhere else. It's that good.
That's
So
good. That's really
fun,
good.
fun stuff. But hey, let's talk more about you. Let's catch Kirk's story. All right, before we get into the topic, how did Kirk learn to make things work? Little rhyme there for you.
That's a good one. Man, and I could go down the rabbit hole with that one. But what I'll say is this: my name is Kirk Nugent. So for those that didn't know, and you didn't see the thing right below me here, I'm Kirk Nugent, and I'm a former missionary slash IT executive. So I was CIO in higher ed and for an NGO over in South Africa. I turned content creator and live video coach. I've been given the title of the Geek Speaker Preacher, and it really embodies my passions: technology, media, speaking, ministry. While I'm growing intentionally on a number of social media platforms, my primary focus has been on YouTube, where I teach small businesses, entrepreneurs, and faith-based entities how to harness the power of live video. I believe that your live stream is your digital storefront. I'm going to say that one more time. Your live stream is your digital storefront. And if you remember back in the day, way before internet, way before cities were situated the way that they are now, there was Main Street. And Main Street had, shops on the bottom, houses on the top. And you had an opportunity to walk through Main Street and take a look and see what people had in those shops. In fact, it was the first form of marketing, because in those shops you had that main window, right? This is where the term window shopping came from. And in that main window, you had, people would sell space. So even if I didn't have a shop on Main Street, I would purchase a spot in one of those shops on Main Street so that people could see my storefront, so that people could see what I had to offer, so that people could see my services, my products, my solution. So I truly, firmly, wholeheartedly believe that your live stream, your live show is your digital storefront. If you set it up properly, people will come to know, like, and trust you, but they'll also begin to start pointing other people your direction because they've seen you do it live. Can't fake it if it's live.
I love it. I love it. Know, like, and trust. All three, because you can know somebody and you can trust them, but not necessarily like
And
them.
not necessarily like them. It's true.
Right?
It's true.
No,
It's true.
absolutely. And there's a lot of marriages like that.
I'm looking for the rim shot.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and Chad was never heard from again.
Oh my. Oh my.
The people are already quoting you already. Purchase your spot so they can see your digital storefront. So isn't just the camera and lens, the light setup is sick, Kirk, by the way.
Thank you. And they're talking about our purple. We both have this great purple going on today. I love it.
Oh man! Not only that, plus the background that we're using that I put into the show. It's like it was like we've been planning this for months.
You planned it,
Yeah, we've got a team of light specialists that planned all of this out, have cues, and wouldn't that be nice?
That would be nice. That would be nice.
Okay, so we know a little bit about you, and then when you've got the channel that you're doing, you're teaching people how to a lot of tech stuff and how things work. WERK, right?
That's right. WERK. Got to get the E in there.
Yeah. So, but today we're going to talk a little bit though about why people have shows that don't quite make it, right? So, why do shows fail? And I know that you've got 4 specific things that we're going to talk about. So, let's jump into it. And maybe you've got some stories or some examples we can share as we go. Guys, don't forget, use the hashtag #LifeBetter. Ask your questions as well. Kirk has some things planned, but at the end of the day, we're here for you, not us. So if you have questions, this is your chance to ask him so he can tell you how it works or maybe why it's not working.
One of let me just say this right off the bat. I think the way that this show has been titled is exactly the right way and perspective to look at it. If you've got people on your show who have never failed, then they really don't have anything to share with us. They don't have any perspective. They've not gone through anything. Their lived experience does not inform what they have to share with you. So I think Chad started out off well by saying, yeah, I've had a couple of podcasts and live shows and projects that failed for various reasons. But here's the huge differentiator, because I know a lot of people who have gone through experiences that didn't necessarily end the way that they wanted it to, or some may even say that it failed. But did you go back through and do a postmortem? Did you go back through and take some notes and take a look at why is it that it failed? And I want to share with you these four things. And the reason why these four things are here is because this is like some end all be all list. And that's what's so great about content. I don't have to have the answer. I just need to have Kirk's answer.
Right.
You don't have to have the best answer for the entire world. You just need to have your answer that's informed by your life, your lived experiences. That makes it unique. Nobody can take it from you. Nobody can be in the comments arguing that your point is not valid when you've lived it. You know what I mean? So these 4 points are points that Chad and I have already walked through them. We've already talked through them. I think in large perspectives, we have both experienced one, if not all of them, a time or two. So we're going to definitely dive into that as well. I see some of the comments there. I want to just say a word of welcome to Seesaw Studios. That's my dude. I sent out the email to my mailing list about an hour ago, Chad. So some of them might be chiming in. And then I also see a question from Olivier Kofi, and he says he spent 3 years in Cape Town. I spent my majority of my time, 5 years, in Pretoria, South Africa, in a suburb of Pretoria called Centurion, but even more specifically, Irene is the name of the area we stayed in. But we traveled all over the whole SADC region. So those everything that's considered Southern Africa. We've been to all of those countries and spent time there, hung out with the people, understood at least the way to greet in there, Mulibwanji, Tilibuino, all those different things. So I love that region of the world. It has a special place in my heart. So yeah, Chad, what do we want to do first? Want to dive into first one, or what do we want?
Yeah, I actually, I had just adjusted myself on the fly because someone said they felt like I had too much head space. Part of it's for the hat, but so there. Hopefully, I'm framed in there a little bit better for you guys there. I did want to address this because they were asking if you've used Wave for live streaming, and so everybody does know. Kirk teaches people how lots of different things work. So he's used lots of tools.
Yes.
He's not committed to just one because he's always teaching so many different things. It's part of his channel. But I know for a fact you've used Wave.
Oh yeah, I've definitely used Wave. In fact, in my newsletter that I sent out today, a part of that newsletter was a link to my Wave video. So that also went out today as well, just kind of letting people know, and my link for people to get signed up if they want to try Wave, right? So I've not only used the product, I actually have affiliate link for people to sign up as well. So I think it's absolutely this is the greatest time to be a consumer in the live video space, because there are platforms, established platforms like Wave, because see, that's what's unique about Wave, is that Wave was already in the marketplace for a slightly different purpose, and then now they've added live streaming on, which is so dope. So they come at the whole live streaming thing from a different perspective, and that's why you get a different flavor, a different feel, a different flair from what you can do with Wave as opposed to some of the others that are on the marketplace. So thank you for that question. Great question.
All right, so let's jump into it. Reason number one, so many shows fail.
Reason number one is lack of focus. And if you see that image behind us, it is out of focus. It is out of focus. It is out of focus for a reason, because lack of focus is probably and everybody knows this from a content perspective, whether you're doing YouTube, whether you're doing Instagram, whatever it is, you do want to have an area of focus. You do want to have an area where you can share with expertise, with consistency is the term I'm looking for. You don't want it to be a random topics. I mean, if you're going to do a podcast, you're going to do a live show, you want to have a particular area that you are going to be focusing in on. And you want the focus to not only be honed in for your topic, but also for your deliverables. What time are you going to post or upload the podcast, or when is it going to be made available? Can people get used to a specific routine from you? Are you going to go live at a random time, just pop up? Some of you already knew, you got the notification, you know that this show is at this day at this time. Chad already talked to you guys about having Wave Camp right after this, and you're doing that all week. It's at a consistent time, and it has a consistent topic, because that's part of it being focused. But here's the other piece of being in focus. It's being focused on your target audience. Like, who is this content for? Your podcast. Who is this content for? What question are you answering? That's what if I can't, I'm thinking of a podcast right now that failed miserably for myself. And it was because it was random. We just picked an idea out of a hat. Okay, today we're going to talk about this. I would meet somebody and they have a specific topic that they talk about. I'd be like, come on, join my podcast. And I would let them go free. And yes, some of it was valuable, but there was no thread. There was no common thread from one episode to the next, to the next, to the next, in terms of why would anybody come back? Because the people who subscribed or followed or liked for this particular episode, they're going to be upset at this episode because that's not what I signed up for. If we think about, go ahead. I can keep talking.
No, you're good. Keep going.
If we think about TV, right, even series that you love, that you watch, if they go left, that's when they lose the audience. I was a huge fan of Game of Thrones, and they lost us in that last season. Lost us. Why? Because it was kind of like, what are you guys doing? You completely shifted. You're taking liberties that we know the original writer would not have done. You've got to be focused in. You got to be focused in. A lot of times, I think people don't have focus because they don't know exactly what they want to achieve. And so somebody said it earlier in the chat. How do you define success? How do you define failure? That's individual. That's the beauty of this thing. You can decide. Chad and I both produce shows for clients. I sit down with a client during my discovery call and I say, what is success? What is failure for this live show, for this conference, for this summit, for this book launch? What is success? Okay, here's what success is. Okay, here's the things we're going to need to do to map from where we are right now towards success. And being very intentional and specific about that allows us to not only have focus, but to provide immense quality and value. And that takes us to our next point, actually. Point number 2. Why live shows? Listen, the statistic says that of all the live shows that have started since the pandemic, which are hundreds of thousands, live shows and podcasts, only 20% will continue by the end of the year. 20%. Why is that?
I'm surprised it's that high, to be honest with you. Hey, before we, I'm sorry, I'm going to throw you off just before we jump into quality.
Oh, please
there
do.
was one question here about focus. How would you set up the focus with final goals, setting the topic of all the events? Their question.
So setting up the focus is there's going to have to be a process here. And there's a lot of different moving parts to it, but the number one thing is understanding who you're speaking to. Who am I speaking to, and what question am I answering for that person? Who am I speaking to? What question am I answering for that person? Because so the question that you answer is going to be, kind of defined and refined by the person you're speaking to. If I'm answering, what is 1 + 1 for an adult, I'm going to answer that question differently than I would answer it for a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old. So you need to know who that person is, and you need to know what is this topic? What am I going to answer for this person? And I always frame topic in relation to a question. What is the question I'm answering? Because if you know how the world works, if you know how podcasts, analytics work, if you know how YouTube works, if you know how any kind of video platform works, it's all about the algorithm, and the algorithm is informed by a question. The person that wants to find the content is going to type it in the form of a question. So you, as the creator, you need to form your content in the frame of a question as well. Who are you going to be speaking to? What is the question you're answering for that person? That's how you maintain focus. Now, the other ancillary items that I shared there is, what is the time? How often am I going to do this? Once a month? I'm going to do it twice a week. Am I going to just do this haphazardly? I'm just going to pop up and be like, hey, here's an episode. Those are other things that help you to have focus. And then the last piece, of course, we touched on it already with the question that you answer, but
Right.
Yes, you want to answer the question, but what do you want them to do? And or what do you want them to walk away with? So I've answered your question, but here is how you want to think about that answer. And this is what I want you to do. Those are the things that allow you to have focus. So you can check those boxes in every one of your live shows, and you run all of the things that's happening in your live show through the filter of those questions. You will have focus. People will see that thread from one show to the next, to the next, to the next. And that is what I believe. It creates that verbal contract between the creator and the audience and allows people to come back. Because there's I love The Price is Right. Right, Chad? The Price is Right. You have the music, you have the product showcase, you got, numbers are called, folks run down to the front. We all know what the format is, even though there have been different hosts over the years. You have some different flair, but because there's consistency, there's focus. And that's why we keep on coming back.
Okay, so I've got my focus now, and then we're shifting into quality. Now, some people here may start to freak out because, now I'm thinking quality, but I don't have all the tools. I don't have the great camera. I don't have the good mic. I don't have the mixer or this or that or blah, 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 blah. So how can I have quality, or is that what quality is?
So this is where the seesaw is, right? We got to balance this seesaw, right? Because you lean heavy on one side. I love to share this with folks. Even if you have all the gear right, dialed in correctly, that only makes up 30% of a live show. All the best gear on the planet, the best mic, the best camera, the best lighting, 30% of a successful live show is made up from the equipment. 70% is content, delivery, personality. 70% is content, delivery, and personality. So dial in the things that you can dial in. Okay. So if we're using the phone to record the podcast, okay, here's a hack. Go in the backseat of your car, turn up all the windows, and record it in there. It's like sitting in a sound booth, quite literally. You will get really good audio, and then you can have that audio for your podcast. The idea is start where you are and systematically and methodically improve, but there is a level of quality that you must define, and you refuse to accept anything less than at different stages of your podcast / live show journey. So poor audio and video, yes, can be distracting. Yes, it can be. Yes. So you try to minimize that as much as possible. Okay. You try to, can I use the sun as my light? Can I get close to, you don't need a whole lot of equipment. If you have a laptop, you've probably got all what you need. So you can use the webcam on the laptop, just situate it properly so that you're good, some good framing. Well, I know some of you are not in the video space, but this is Wave. We're Wave.video group, and this is the channel that you're on. So some of you are thinking, well, I'm really more on the podcast side. It doesn't matter. I challenge my podcast folks to just have the video, just have it. Even if you're not posting it, just keep it, because you can repurpose that later. That one's for free. But the idea is, you have a specific level where you are now. Refuse to accept anything less than that level of quality for today. And then at the flip side, right, we're balancing the seesaw. Enjoy the journey. Your favorite shows started out just as bad as you will. Everything worth doing takes practice. Practice makes perfect, but practice takes time. Practice takes time. So give yourself grace. Give yourself time to improve. Don't look at what Chad is doing and say, but mine's is not like that yet.
Chad's just sitting here listening and taking it all in. So if you guys should be able to handle that.
No, but my whole point is there is a journey. And here's the beautiful part for me. Everything that I share as a live video coach comes from my journey. So if I didn't have the scenarios where I was live and my webcam fell over, and there's video still on YouTube today with me reaching around the desk to pick up the webcam and prop it back up where it needed to be. If I didn't have those experiences, then I wouldn't have any context or content to share with people on how you can improve. I've been where you are, so I can tell you how to get where I am, at a minimum where I am. And then hope that you can take those tidbits, those best practices, and actually go further than I ever could. So though there's a whole journey piece here in terms of quality that is critical. That is absolutely critical. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Lack of quality. Yeah.
Tay was asking a question about using your phone. Message me, Tay, and I'll set up a time, and I'll help you work through that.
Yeah.
Because that's a whole different.
There's some options there.
Yeah,
Camo
for
and
sure.
Camo and what's the Elgato app?
Well, I've used Filmic Pro with a
Filmic.
clean HDMI out using a capture card, and I've also used NDI.
Okay.
as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So,
But
so
Camo
this,
is the app, and it just drops it. You drop it on the phone, and done. Turns your whole phone into a webcam. But yeah, there are options there. Listen, the third thing is this one. It's part of the whole dynamic of what people have done and failed for their live show or podcast. But this one spans way larger than that, and so you're going to see lack of execution is number 3. But lack of execution isn't just for your podcast or live show. Lack of execution is something you will see in every aspect of your life. A friend of mine asked me, why do you work out? Because I love Beachbody. I do my exercise routine regularly. You can't tell because I also love to eat, right? So I work out to eat. So it's not so much that I'm working out to have chiseled abs. I'm working out so that I don't get any bigger than I currently am. And for the most part, that's been working. But the other reason why I work out is because of the discipline, because of the reps, because of the practice and the habit of taking time at the beginning of the day just for me. Like, workout benefits no one else but Kirk. So that mentality, that methodology spills over into my preparation for my live show. Somebody said, if you don't treat it like a job, you'll never get paid. Here's the truth. Not only will you not get paid, you won't be successful. You won't be successful. So yeah, podcasts are a lot of work, and this work happens week in, week out. Live shows are a lot of work. Chad and I were talking yesterday about some things he was having to do manually now because it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. And so in the picture, you're seeing a person standing at the finish line, but they haven't crossed it. It's a lack of execution. It's just not done.
Yeah.
What is it going to take for you to be done with that task? Because when it's done, it's done. Lack of execution is where most live shows and podcasts go to die. They could have great. Go ahead.
It's easy. It's easy too. Is that that 1 week you're like, this week it's a crazy week, so we're gonna skip this week. Man, y'all, it gets a lot easier to skip after you skip the one.
Way easier to skip after you skip the one. One of the things I in my coaching, I tell my clients, create the flyer for the other live show and show. Do not ever do a live show without sharing the flyer for the next live show. It's an accountability hack that allows you to say to your audience, another show is coming. Another show is coming. And because another show is coming, we want you to come back. And guess what happens to the creator? Now I'm locked in. I've created this verbal contract with my audience where I've told them already, not only that there is another show, the date, the time, and who's going to be on it, the topic that we're going to be doing, and what value they can get from it. They're going to show up. So guess what? I have to. So now, regardless of how busy the week is, I have to do the work because I know they're going to show up and I don't want to disappoint them.
Right. And as soon as you tell them, like, you're like, and next week, blah, blah, blah. And then in your head, you're like, oh man. I still have to do it.
Yeah. It's that accountability. I'm going to tell you the honest truth. That's still to this day. Some people are like, oh, well, it gets better with time. No, I still do it to this day. Why? Because I know if I don't, that temptation to be like, yeah, we're just not going to do it this week. It gets so much easier to give into that temptation.
Oh man, for real. It's funny when you do that, right, guys? When you let people know, hey, we're going to be back next week. It's like this transfer of weight, like this weight comes off of you because we're still gonna do the show, and then all the weight of putting the new show on comes back on you. So it's like and all at once, but it's great.
all at once. That is so true. That is so true. Here's one last thing I want to say in terms of execution. Um, go all in for 90 days. At the end of 90 days, meet with your team, and your team meeting may just be you meeting with yourself, but meet with your team to determine if this is something you can do over the long term internally, something you may want to do to start not hiring but expanding, bringing people on for other compensation other than money, and then begin to look at. I always give myself a timeline. When I was starting Amazon Live, Chad, I decided
Mm.
to do 90 days. I'm going to do 3 months. I'm going to do 3 times a week at 10 a.m. Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays. And I said, I'm committing to that day one. So I already knew how many shows I had to do day one when I was starting out on Amazon Live so that I could actually have that conversation again. A lot of times what we do is we'll do one show and then we'll have the conversation of whether or not we want to do this. No, 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 no.
Oh, yeah.
You want to have that conversation after a predetermined amount of time. Let's try this for 3 months. Let's try this for 3 months. If we absolutely detest it, then for sure, let's get rid of it. If we're seeing success that is immeasurable, which is what my experience was with Amazon Live, then by all means, let's go forward. But the time frame in between, you do a lot of checking. The thing that I love about the whole coaching process is review. In this whole cycle of the live show life, right? The live show life cycle, because you got to do, okay, we got to get the guests and we get the topic and then we schedule it out and then we send it. And this is a cycle. It's a cycle. It's every week. However, whatever your frequency is for your live show or for your podcast, there's a cycle to this thing. But in that cycle, I hope that you all have in that cycle review. I rewatch every live show, every podcast I have done. I rewatch or re-listen to them, and I make notes. And sometimes my family and I will watch it, and we laugh at. I laugh at myself because I'm like, man, I could have done that better. But that review process is the best process for incrementally getting better. I don't want to be necessarily Joe Rogan by tomorrow. I just want to be better than yesterday's version of Kirk. And if I can be better than yesterday's version of Kirk tomorrow, and then be better than tomorrow's version of Kirk the next day, I can be an entirely different person by this time next year.
No, absolutely. That's something I'm definitely bad at. I mean, going back and watching my own. In fact, I do a lot of theater, right? And we've got all of the shows we've done. They record them. We've got them on DVD. I think I've watched 2 of them. I've never gone back and watched them. So but I totally get what you're saying. Harry was asking, what about when you need a break? Like how do you do that? How does that still keep you consistent and executing? Because
you see, this is where it's like there's no right or wrong answer. So let me give you an example. Right, here's an example of what a break might look like. Okay, so I say to myself and my team, okay, guys, we want to take a break for the months of June, July, and maybe even August. So what do we need to do to be able to take a break? Are we just going to go quiet, or are we going to actually have some stuff in the can? All right, we want to have some stuff in the can. Oh, we want to have some stuff in the can. So what do we need to do to have some stuff in the can? We're going to need to schedule some extra shows. We're going to, okay, cool. So now we've defined what taking a break looks like. And once we cross that finish line, you see, it's right next to me, right? Once we cross that finish line, we get to take the break.
Right.
But
now it's harder when it's a live show, right? Because if you're canning a live show now, it's not live.
Yeah.
So from that
Well,
side,
yes, from a live perspective, it is not live. You are correct, but at least there's content to feed the content monster. I call the content monster. It's like Cookie Monster from Sesame Street. The content monster is always hungry, and all of these platforms reward new content. Right now, I'm in the middle of the July Creators Challenge, which I know is not it's not Veto or Lido or any of these other things that people know of, but it's a content creator challenge in the month of July where you post a video every day. And what I decided to do this year is post repurposed content from my live show. So every day this month, I'm posting a repurposed content, repurposed clip, 60-second or less, from my live shows, and it's already having a great impact on my channel. Even though my channel is known for live, this content is helping me stay fresh. It's helping me to stay top of mind. It's giving me the opportunity to take a break, because we started making those clips back in August when we started the season. So I'm not creating these clips today. I have 70 of them, more than 31, which is the month of July, to be able to schedule, post, and I don't have to do anything.
It's brilliant. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. So we've got focus, we got quality, we got execution, but the show's got to go somewhere, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's got to go somewhere. This is definitely one of the final piece here. Lack of distribution. Lack of distribution is the final piece in this puzzle in terms of my top 4 things why live shows and podcasts go to die. Distribution is also a part of the repurposing structure. Distribution for podcasts, that means, where do you have it? Where can people watch it? But for the live show host, why would you determine what the way your audience engages with you? If they want to engage with you on Twitter, then why aren't you on Twitter? So the question becomes, where is your avatar? Where's your perfect person? Where's your target audience? If your target audience is on 5 platforms, then guess what? You have an audience on all 5 of those platforms. You don't have to post the same exact thing, but you want to make sure you are pushing something in those spaces. Lack of distribution is one of the biggest reasons why these shows and podcasts go to die. Because listen, if you're doing this thing for 90 days and it's still 1-2 people watching at 90 days, at 20 shows in, you still got 2 people watching, there's no motivation. So 2 downloads in 90 days, there's no motivation. And so, but the one of the main reasons for that is because we have not given the algorithm. I want to shift something for somebody out there. I know that you probably thought this way, because I thought this way. The YouTube algorithm is not working against you. I'm just going to pause there. I'm going to say it one more time. The YouTube algorithm is not working against you. It is not your enemy, actually. It's your friend. Do you understand your friend's language? That's the issue. Lack of distribution is not just, am I using Buzzsprout? Am I putting it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, all of the different places? It's not just that. It's also working with those platforms to trigger the algorithm in your favor. What's your thumbnail look like? What is your title for your show? Is a description something that somebody would click on? How would they find it? If you grabbed a different computer and searched for the topic you're answering in your show, last week's show, would you find your show? A lot of us never go through this, and we never. So because we don't know, we've never gone through this, we don't know how to make those breadcrumbs work, right? To drop those breadcrumbs along the way so that people can find their way to your content. YouTube wants to help you. The algorithm wants to get people to your content and have them stay, have them binge, have them subscribe. They're giving you all the details in your analytics page in your dashboard. But are we working with the distribution process, with the algorithm, or are we working against it? And a lot of times, I know I found myself guilty of this. We're working against it.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
We complain about it, right? And like it's there, it's not going in a way. You can whine all you want, but like it's there. So, and it's there because they feel like it's going to do what it needs to do. So we get what they want to get. So embrace it.
Embrace it. Embrace it. And like I did, when I was in South Africa, I didn't learn all 7 of the official languages, but I had to learn some language because I wanted to be able to better communicate. And I think this is the piece that people are just, I don't understand analytics. I don't know search engine optimization. I don't know. Should I put this hashtag? Hashtags should not be cute or gotchas, right? They shouldn't be play on words. They shouldn't be, clever. Hashtags should be breadcrumbs. The hashtags should be breadcrumbs to get people to your content.
Yeah.
I've seen some hashtags out there. You're like, that's a pretty cool hashtag, but I would never write that. In
Right.
fact,
Yeah.
it took me a time or two to really understand what you were saying with that hashtag, because people put full sentences in their hashtags, and it's like, no, 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 no. Hashtag hashtag podcast fail, hashtag live show fail, hashtag uh, uh, um, um, successful podcast. Those are very specific, and we would tag this video with that, and we would see organic content, organic content, organic. The reason why I said organic 3 times is because viral is what most people are looking for, but the only place on the planet where viral is good is online. Everywhere else, viral is bad. You know that if you're Chad knows it. If your doctor says to you, sorry, sir, the infection has gone viral, we would all be like, oh man, well, let's call in the priest and everybody else, because this thing is bad. Only online do we think that viral is good. Viral is not good. I challenge you to grow organically, no hormones, right? No injections, right?
Yeah, because
No.
there's like, remember the what's her face with the Chewbacca mask years
Mhm,
ago,
mhm.
right? Where is
She's
she?
gone. She's gone.
Right.
She's
So
gone.
yeah.
Yeah, so you'll get your 15 minutes of fame, and most people are not prepared to take advantage of their 15 minutes of fame, and
Right.
so the 15 minutes, counts down, and once it's over, they're gone.
Yeah, because most of the people who are ready to take care of their 15 minutes of fame and they're ready for it are the ones that are trying and trying and trying and they don't go viral. The ones who go viral are the ones who were just being themselves and captured something and they weren't
Right.
planning on the fame. So
No, it's there's so much to be said there, but I hope that these 4 really resonate with you guys. These are things I can think to experiences where, we were doing the show, but we weren't doing we barely had a description, much less, any kind of keywords or anything. We just named it whatever we thought was clever. The title, I'm not even talking about the hashtags. I'm talking about the actual title of the video. We just named it whatever we thought was clever. I have done all of these things incorrectly.
right.
Um, and I can see the difference between the two. So
So we've got all these 4 steps, but let's wrap this up here because we're talking, the title here is The Reason Shows Fail, Things Fail.
sure.
But that being said, I feel this is a fair question. How do we define success? How are we defining failed?
The shows that failed, in terms of the statistic that I shared, they're talking about shows that are still going and shows that are dead, right? The creator has given up on the show. So that's in terms of the 20%, 20% of the, so whether or not they're actually successful in terms of downloads or views or impact or adding people to the top of the funnel, getting people to purchase your products or services, to what's the other term I'm looking for? But anyway, getting people into your ecosystem and allowing them to consume your content and consume whatever it is you have, or to establish you as a thought leader, to put you in spaces where you can do business with something else or someone else in your particular industry or discipline. These are all the reasons that, again, we would now, as the creators, as the owners of these shows, need to decide this is what success looks like.
Yeah.
The
So to sum it up, guys, the statistic is the people that they stopped. Their shows just went away because they like, screw it,
That's
I'm
it.
done. I don't want to do this. As far as us defining it, success very simple. Is the show doing what you wanted it to do?
Do.
If it is, you succeeded. If the show's not doing what you want it to do, then it's failing. So it's based on your goals and
Yes.
what you've defined as the bar.
So
Not
good.
anything that we've
So good, Chad. I mean, that's it. I mean, in those intake calls with clients, I can't tell you how many times where I'll say that question and then they'll be like, "Oh, I thought you would help us to define what success is." I'm like, "Well, I am helping you by asking you the question." What
Yeah, I
is
mean, I'd be like, "Oh, you know what? I wanna do a live show, and I wanna do it for 12 weeks." And if you do a show for 12 weeks and nobody watches it, you still succeeded.
You still succeeded. There you go. That's it.
So,
You did it, and you have that
yeah.
content out there, and you can always refer back to it. You I there's a video series I did, 3 videos on Amazon Live, varying in terms of, its success level, and if you rate success by views, but I'm always able to refer to that series. People say, "Hey, how do I get started on Amazon Live? Hey, check out this series I have." That
Love
to
it.
me is success.
Great stuff. All right, we're gonna switch gears. We're gonna do something fun here. Come back, chat just a little bit more, and then I have to go to camp. So hold on. Here we go. Okay, we're gonna have a little fun here, guys. It's a little thing we like to do. A lot of people do this on their shows, whatever. We call it this or that. We've
Sure.
got five questions. You're gonna pick your favorite. Maybe I'll think there's a story there. Maybe I'll ask. The last one isn't this or that. It's actually more of a thought-provoking question. But here we go. First one, you guys play along with us. This or that, football or basketball?
Basketball.
Basketball. All right. My answer is hockey.
Wasn't on the list. If we're choosing things that are on the list, I'd choose real football,
Real football.
not American football. Just
Oh, very nice. I was a soccer player myself growing up,
there you
so
go. Yeah,
all through high school.
there you
Big
go.
Ted Lasso fan. Love some Ted Lasso.
Come on.
Yeah, I just got that Believe poster he puts in the
Yeah,
office?
yeah.
Yeah, I just got in the other day. I'm putting it on my wall right in front of me.
Oh,
It's like a
that's
big
awesome.
flag. It's a flag size version of it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So, let me putting that up there. All right, how about this? Workout, home or gym? I already know
Oh,
the answer because you said beach body, so
yeah, home. That gym is a waste of time. People in there, what are you? You're not even doing anything. So home, definitely.
right. Yeah, you can't be going to the gym, prop up your phone, and then have the beach body video playing while you're doing.
Oh, I've done it. In hotels all over. I do
Oh,
it. And what's funny? People join in. They're like, "Oh, that looks great. Can I join in?" I'm
really?
like, sure, jump in. It's
That's
awesome.
that's incredible. I love that. You're leading classes, and
It's like having a class. Yeah.
that's funny. Okay, how about sour or sweet?
Can I do a mix? Sweet and sour. That's
A
actually.
little sweet and sour?
But I mean, if I have to choose, I definitely choose sweet.
Yeah, yeah. If I had to go with just one, it would be it's a good mix, but if I had to go one, sweet. Just all sour would be
All sour. Yeah.
yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
a little rough. A little rough.
Oh, sweet and salty. Sweet and salty also, will get the job done as well.
That's true. Most people are saying they work out at the house too. So,
Oh.
okay, how about this? Coke or Pepsi? Oh, this
Mm,
is where everybody's gonna go crazy here in the
right.
comments, right?
Right.
Who said Sprite?
I'm not. I don't drink either of those. I just keeping a stack. Sprite, Sierra Mist, whatever, but not neither of those. And Sprite and Sierra Mist are those two companies, by the way. They're Sprite is Coke, Sierra Mist, I
Right.
believe, Pepsi. Yeah.
Pepsi. Absolutely. Wow. Sierra Mist used to be Slice, right?
Slice, yes.
Yes. So I'm a Dr. Pepper guy myself. So
Somebody put
people are
ginger. Love it.
nobody's saying Coke or Pepsi. They're all throwing out their own. Was it water, ginger beer? So
Yeah, somebody said, neither. Zero soft drinks. I tell you what, if I can get to zero soft drinks, that would help me in my the battle of the bulge. I like to tell people that I put on the COVID-19 pounds. That is pounds.
hey Ross, thanks for popping in. Okay, here we go. One last this or that, and then we'll have the question here. Pandas or whales?
Oh wow! I was not prepared for this one.
I
Pandas
saw
are
this on a
whales.
list somewhere, and I'm like, I'm gonna use this. This is so off the wall.
Pandas or whales? I whales because I like the water, but pandas are cool. Remember they had that panda cam for the two pandas in Japan or something,
Right,
and
right.
we're just
Yeah.
watching those pandas 24/7. It was like the first foray into 24/7 live streaming.
Yeah, it
But
was
yeah, the panda cam was dope. But I don't know whales. I just the size of them, the magnitude, and what they're able to do. And yeah, I don't know. It's
it's a tough one. It's an interesting. There's no kung fu whale movie.
Kung Fu Pandas. Oh.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, here we go. Here's our. I would go with whales too. I'd prefer to go sit and do the whale watching thing. All right, Which activities make you lose track of time?
Content creation. I know that's like very much on the nose, but okay. Content creation. All right, here's another one. My family and I love American Ninja Warrior. Not just the show, not just the show. There's actually a ninja gym here in Huntsville, and I can lose hours in there.
Wow.
Yeah. My wife is a level 5. I'm a level 2. So all of my chores and my honey-do list is always done because all right, let me leave you all alone.
Ross says reels and YouTube shorts.
Yeah. Now he's talking about watching them. That's true.
Right. Yeah, that can happen.
That could definitely happen.
That's hilarious. Watching Kirk videos. Okay, here we go. They're sucking up now. Oh man.
That's awesome.
So, all right. So, tell you what we do here. People have like their elevator pitch. And my old show, Subpolluted, we actually had an elevator, and we'd let our guests go in and do their pitch, and we give them 60 seconds or so. But this is Wave.video. We don't have an elevator. We're in the water. So I was like, what goes up and down?
Yeah,
a submarine. Yeah. So we're going to put you in a submarine, and when we pop this up here in just a second, as we start to submerge, it's your time. You talk, you can plug, promote, you can preach, you can say whatever you want. It's your time. No interruptions.
Got it.
Until we come all the way back up. So when we get to the bottom, that's not the end. It's when we come back to the surface.
Surface. Okay.
So this is your time, our little way of saying thanks. So let's switch over. Okay, now just so you know, I will be right here in case there's an emergency, so that you feel safe. All right, I'm gonna let you start now, even though we haven't started to go under.
Here we go. There's 3 things I always like to leave with people. 3 things that I think is absolutely critical for anybody that's in this content creator game, that whether you're in a podcaster, whether you're a live video host, live show host. 3 things. Number 1, you want to answer a question. We talked about that earlier. You want to make sure you frame your content in the form of a question. Number 2, you want to be consistent. We talked about that as well. Being consistent is both from 2 sides. 1, being consistent with time and frequency, but others being consistent with your topic. And number 3, and this is the one we haven't touched on today, that's being vulnerable. Put yourself in your content. With your quibbles and your quirks and your idiosyncrasies and your failures, put yourself in your content. You will see success. My name is Kirk Nugent, Geek Speaker Preacher. You have my QR code next to me. I'd love to chat with you guys. Book 15 minutes and we will see what you can do with live video. Thank you.
Love it. Wow, look at that. That was perfect, sir. Perfect. So I didn't set this scene up earlier, apparently, and so our cameras, that's why our cameras aren't fitting like they should.
They're wide, yeah.
Yep. So there we go. We'll go back this way. Yeah. And that's because we can. Because you can. I just want to tell you thanks, of course, for being here. Guys, go check out Kirk. I've watched his content. He's good, really good. Someone even mentioned earlier that you have this calming effect, and it's not just the tone of your voice and all of these things. And,
oh man,
I think I'm going to answer it for him, guys. I think his secret to his success is that I know where his confidence comes from.
Come on,
that.
Yeah,
right.
True. I put it in my brand statement. I help people of faith because I'm a person of faith, and that's in my opinion, that's where it all comes from. So
yep. That's I knew that.
Oh, well said, man.
So
somebody says I'm highly vulnerable. I'm telling you, vulnerable people go far. Vulnerable people, vulnerability is the key to not only knowing who you can speak to, but what you have to say to them, because it comes from your lived experience. People they miss that piece. They miss that piece. Your entire life, all your steps are ordered and orchestrated. And so if you pull from that experience, if you mine the gold in your story, you'll know what your topic is, and you know exactly who you need to tell it to, because it's you. And people will resonate with that. I often say, Chad, that, an Asian gentleman cannot teach Black women how to take care of their hair. Not because he doesn't have this, he may have struck gold, he may have figured it all out, but he's not. He doesn't have black hair, so it's not possible. It's not his lived experience. We gotta work from that. I've got a client who does men's content on how to overcome pornography. His stuff is going gangbusters, but he had to come out and say he's addicted to porn.
Right.
So that was the vulnerability piece. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to kind of level set, because sometimes we think of vulnerability like, I don't mind sharing my mistakes. I'm talking about the big ones, the stuff that you don't want even your spouse to know.
Right.
That's where your success is. Because if you can tell people, hey, I have this big issue and I did this one thing today to get the victory today, then people will follow you for that.
I love that, man. I absolutely love that. It did, because, and that's of course my thing that I do is help people catch their stories, help them
That's
drill
it.
down, and find. I call it, the story behind the story. Everybody
Behind,
thinks
right?
like, here's my story. No, we're gonna
Not
let's.
really.
There's more to that, brother. There's
Deeper.
more to that, and when we get to that more to that, then people are gonna want more of that. How you like that?
Absolutely.
Write that.
Absolutely.
When we get to the more of that, people will want more of that.
There it is.
So
There
that's
it
gonna be
is.
my first rap album.
Stories, man.
Oh man, thanks so much for being here, man. Guys, we appreciate you guys all joining us. Next week, actually, we are taking a little break. I won't be here. I'm going to be in New York with my wife, but we will be back the following week with Daryl Eves.
Oh man, that's awesome.
I know, right? I know. It happened, and
It happened.
we're going to be
That's
talking about how they're leveraging live streaming specifically to promote The Chosen.
I
So
am definitely tuning in. I'm such a Chosen fan.
yeah, so that was I told him, I said, I don't want to talk YouTube. I want to talk the live streaming component, because it's been a huge part of how they've promoted
Yeah.
that
Huge
program.
part.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So looking forward to that. So anyway, guys, we will be here. Actually, his schedule's nuts. So next week I won't be here. When we come back, we're going to be on a special day at Thursday at a regular time. Because when Daryl Eves says that's when he can be here, you move your show.
Yes, you do.
So Kirk, thanks again, everyone. I will see you here in just a moment at Wave Camp. But until then, have fun streaming and tune in next time so we can all learn together how to live better.